You used me to forget Bai Lu. Sheu Yue walks out on Dylan Wang during couple therapy. The sterile room felt suffocating despite its bright lights and modern decor. Two chairs faced each other across a small table. A whiteboard filled with scribbled notes stood off to the side, and a single camera was discreetly tucked in a corner to capture every moment. This was not just any couple therapy session. This was the turning point that neither Dylan Wang nor Sheu Yue would forget. Scene 1. The calm before the storm. Dylan sat rigidly, his jaw clenched, eyes focused on the floor. The room hummed with silence except for the occasional scribble of the therapist taking notes. Sheu Yue, sitting opposite, looked calm, but her gaze burned with a quiet fury. The therapist, a warm yet firm voice, broke the silence. Dylan, Sheu Yue, you've come a long way. But today, let's talk honestly about your relationship. What's beneath the surface? Dylan cleared his throat. I love Sheu Yue. I want us to work. His voice was steady but tired, carrying the weight of unspoken mistakes. Sheu Yue's eyes narrowed. Love, she echoed, voice cold. You love me, but did you ever love me for me? Or just to forget Bai Lu? The words landed like a thunderclap. Scene 2. The accusation that shattered everything. Dylan looked up, shock flashing across his face, quickly masked by defensiveness. Sheu Yue, that's not fair. Fair. Sheu Yue's voice rose. You were lost in your past, drowning in memories of Bai Lu. And when you needed a lifeline, you grabbed me. I was your escape, your distraction, your rebound. Her eyes glistened with unshed tears, but her voice was fierce. You never truly moved on. You just replaced one chapter with another. Dylan's fists clenched. That's not true. You know how much I've tried. Scene 3. Flashbacks. The truth beneath the surface. Suddenly, the room seemed as memories flooded the scene, playing out like flashbacks on a screen. Flashback 1. Dylan laughing with Bai Lu on a chemistry so electric it dazzled everyone. Their hands brushed, lingering a little too long, filled with unspoken promises. Flashback 2. Late-night texts from Dylan to Bai Lu, the glow of his phone lighting up his face, while Sheu Yue waited alone at the restaurant, untouched dinner cold on the table. Flashback 3. Dylan and Sheu Yue on their first date, a hopeful night, full of possibility, contrasting sharply with their most recent argument, where words were sharp and love seemed to crumble. Scene 4. Dylan's break, the unraveling. Back in the therapy room, Dylan's facade cracked. I didn't mean to use you. I swear. I wanted to move forward, but I was scared. Scared of losing everything Bai Lu meant to me. And scared of losing you too. Sheu Yue's gaze softened just a little, but her voice was firm. Scared doesn't excuse pain, Dylan. Tears escaped his eyes. I know I've hurt you, but I want to fix it. Please. Scene 5. The walkout, the breaking point. Sheu Yue shook her head slowly, standing up, her chair scraping against the floor. The room felt heavier, the silence deeper. You can't fix something built on shadows, Dylan, she said quietly. I'm tired of being second place. Footsteps echoed as she walked toward the door. One last glance over her shoulder. You used me to forget Bai Lu, but I'm not your forget-me-not. And then she was gone. Scene 6. The aftermath. Dylan alone with regret. Dylan sat back down, shoulders slumped. The therapist gave a gentle nod but said nothing. The emptiness in the room felt like a physical ache. Outside, the city carried on unaware. But inside Dylan's heart, a war raged between regret, love, and the haunting question, can he ever truly move on? Deep dive. What this moment means. This explosive confrontation exposes raw truths about love, loss, and the difficult path of moving forward. Dylan Wang, torn between his past with Bai Lu and his present with Sheu Yue, faces the ultimate emotional reckoning. Sheu Yue's words cut deep because they are grounded in pain so many can relate to, the agony of feeling like a temporary fix, a consolation prize. Behind the scenes, the emotional toll. Couple therapy is often romanticized as a healing process, but here it's brutally honest, exposing wounds hidden behind smiles and scripts. Both Dylan and Sheu Yue reveal vulnerability rarely seen in public, reminding us that even stars carry scars. The future. Can love be rebuilt? As Sheu Yue walks away, leaving Dylan with nothing but his regrets, the question lingers. Is their love strong enough to survive the truth? Will Dylan finally confront his past with Bai Lu and stop dragging others into his unresolved emotions? Or is this the final act in a painful love triangle? Closing thoughts, a scene for the ages. This moment, Dylan Wang's tearful plea, Sheu Yue's heartbreaking walkout, and the searing truth spoken aloud will resonate long after the cameras stop rolling. It's a raw, cinematic climax that reminds us all. Sometimes love is not enough. Sometimes healing begins with the hardest goodbye. The calm before the storm, the silent battle in Dylan Wang and Sheu Yue's couple therapy. The therapy room was deceptively calm. A soft hum of the air conditioner and the faint ticking of a clock were the only sounds, but beneath that quiet surface, a tempest brewed. The sterile white walls enclosed the space like a cage, holding two souls teetering on the edge of something irreversible. Dylan Wang sat rigid, his broad shoulders squared but tense, like a warrior bracing before the first arrow. His eyes were fixed somewhere beyond the room, as if trying to escape memories clawing at him from every corner. The flicker of the overhead light caught the sheen of sweat forming along his hairline, betraying the calm mask he wore. Opposite him, Sheu Yue's posture was the very image of controlled composure. She sat upright, fingers lightly tapping her knee, her gaze locked steadily on Dylan, a mixture of frustration, sorrow, and something deeper, a wound that refused to heal. The air thick with unspoken words. The therapist, a gentle woman with kind eyes, finally broke the silence. Dylan, Sheu Yue, I want to thank you for being here today. This is a brave step. Dylan gave a small nod, jaw tightening. Sheu Yue remained silent, her eyes steady, but her hands trembling just slightly, a subtle crack in her armor. The therapist's voice softened. Relationships are complex. They're about truth. And today, I want you both to speak your truth. The room seemed to inhale collectively. Dylan's inner turmoil. Dylan's mind raced. Years of public scrutiny, relentless gossip, and the echoing shadow of Bai Lu haunted his thoughts. Every interview, every fan comment, every whispered rumor felt like a jab. But now, faced with Sheu Yue, the woman who had stood by him, his heart pounded not with confidence, but with fear. How do I tell her what she needs to hear without shattering her completely, he thought. He swallowed hard, voice rough. I love you, Sheu Yue. More than words. The words sounded hollow even to his own ears. Sheu Yue's mask cracks. Sheu Yue's eyes flashed. Love, she repeated, her tone sharper now, cutting through the sterile calm like a knife. If you loved me, Dylan, you wouldn't still be haunted by her. Her voice cracked just slightly, betraying the pain she tried so hard to hide. The silence that followed was thick, almost suffocating. The therapist's intervention. The therapist leaned forward gently. Sheu Yue, can you tell Dylan what you're feeling right now? Sheu Yue's breath hitched. For a moment, tears shimmered in her eyes. Then she drew a shaky breath, voice raw with emotion. I feel like I'm a placeholder, a chapter to be closed when you're ready to move on. Like I'm not her. Never her. And that's a weight I'm not sure I can carry anymore. The moment between moments. Time seemed to slow. Dylan's eyes flickered with guilt and desperation. He reached out his hand, but Sheu Yue pulled back instinctively, her body stiffening as if shocked by his touch. His voice softened, almost a whisper. I didn't mean for this to happen. I never wanted to hurt you. Sheu Yue shook her head slowly, tears finally spilling free. You did hurt me. Every time your phone buzzed with a message from her, every time your eyes looked away when I tried to connect. A tense flashback, silent nights, and lonely waiting. The scene shifted for Dylan. A silent montage of memories flooded in. Late nights alone in a cold apartment. The glow of a screen lighting up his face as he texted Bai Lu. Sheu Yue waiting by the phone, her hope dwindling with every unanswered call. He remembered the way her smile had faded over time, replaced by quiet disappointment. How their conversations became rehearsed, superficial, shadows of what once was. Back to reality. The pressure builds. The room felt like it was closing in. Sheu Yue's words hit Dylan with the force of a storm. His heart hammered painfully in his chest. The therapist cleared her throat, breaking the tension. Dylan, what do you want to say to Sheu Yue now? He looked up, eyes glistening. I want to be better. For you. For us. Sheu Yue's lip trembled. But how do I know you won't just use me again? How do I know I'm not just a step to get over her? The fragility of trust. This was the crux of it all. Trust, shattered and fragile. Dylan's breath hitched as he grappled with the truth he couldn't deny. I can't promise I won't falter. But I promise I'm trying. And I want you to know you're not a rebound. The moment that changed everything. Their eyes locked, a silent battle of emotions raging in the space between them. For a fleeting second, it seemed as though the years of hurt, anger, and confusion might melt away. Then Sheu Yue shook her head slowly, standing abruptly. That's what scares me the most, that it might just be words. A door slams on more than just a room. She gathered her things with a shaky hand, her voice barely above a whisper, but carrying the weight of 1,000 unspoken heartbreaks. She said, I need to stop pretending this is enough. And with that, she walked out, leaving Dylan alone in the cold, glaring light of a truth neither was ready to face. The aftermath. Silence that screams. The therapist sat quietly, her expression unreadable. Dylan slumped back in his chair, hands covering his face. The words lingered in the air like smoke. You used me to forget Bai Lu. It wasn't just an accusation. It was a wound exposed, raw and bleeding. And the room, once filled with hope, now held only the echo of a heartbreak unfolding. This expanded, immersive look into the tension and emotional buildup before the explosive confrontation lets readers truly feel the weight on both Dylan and Sheu Yue. The intimate focus on their internal battles and the charged atmosphere sets the stage for the drama that follows. So once again, from all of us at K-Romance Central, thank you for joining us on this journey. If this story touched your heart, if it made you believe in love again, or if you just want to stay updated on every twist in this breathtaking saga, backhand index pointing right, don't forget to subscribe and click that notification button for more juicy K-drama updates. Because this is K-Romance Central, and here, we don't just report stories. We bring the romance to life. Sparkling Heart.